Hello, good morning. How you guys doing? James here. Well, I got some interesting topic I want to talk about, and it's how some women, black women, don't mind seeing other black or white men, but they don't want to see black men with white women. Let's get it in.
No matter what condition it's in, if you need to sell your house,
y'all let me know. Is this black women hating on black men?
I genuinely want to know why black men make dating so difficult.
Most black men don't know how to date. They don't know how to court a woman properly. They've never seen it. No one's ever told them what to do. Most of them are just winging it, doing what they think they feel is best or what they seen their homeboy do, so they don't really know, number one. Number two, most black men are not financially stable enough to date. Most of them are broke. It costs money to date women. You have to spend money. And most of these men don't want to spend it or they don't have it to spend. And number three, a lot of men are just scared. They don't know how to receive love. They are afraid of commitment. They haven't seen healthy relationships growing up, so they don't know how to be in a healthy relationship.
None of it's true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lie.
If I was 22 today, I wouldn't date black men. I'm sorry. Y'all take too long to get y'all stuff together. Y'all want us to pay half the bills and sleep with you? No, can't do that. I'm not saying that other men are better than you. I'm just saying they're more ambitious than you. Yes, you can play basketball and football really good, but the average non-famous black man has less ambition. I like ambition.
Girl, it's bad out here. It's really bad. But one thing I have to say is, anytime I've dated a non-black man, like I've never had this issue. Like they never asked me for a place to live. They never asked me to pay for anything. So maybe we just need to expand our options. But I see it. Like I see it. It's bad. It's really bad.
So when the average black man gets next to a strong black woman, a lot of the time they feel the need to humble her. They feel like they are intimidated by her and they have to break her down because a lot of men want to feel dominance in a relationship. So when they get next to a strong black woman, it's not what they think it is. They seek that because that's what their mom was, but then when they get it, they don't like it anymore, right? Because she has strong opinions, she's independent. That's why we see a lot of black men say that, oh, black women are too masculine. I can't have my woman make more money than me, right? Because they see that as too much, too tough, too independent, too masculine.
When it comes to brothers that are not hitting on the typical real ninja aesthetic or lifestyle, mentality, ways and action, y'all don't want them. A lot of black women, okay, females I should say, y'all don't really like good, respectable, well-to-do, well-structured black men. Y'all don't like them. Y'all will push them into the arms of other cultures of women, other races of women.
Everybody says that black women are just bitter and black women are just mad because they're dating white women and white women are easier to deal with and black women are difficult. And in reality, black women don't even care. Like it's
we don't give a fuck. Like, we literally do not care.
Would you prefer a black man dating a white woman? Like, would you like to see that?
I'm not gonna lie. When I see like those like interracial couples where it looks like the black man is just so well to do, you know the ones that you look at and know got a good job, and then he's standing next to a white woman. I'm not gonna lie. I just be like, damn, there's a sister out there that really could have used you, bro.
We want someone that wants us back.
Period.
And it's not going to be black men. That's why all the black women are starting to date white men.
Period.
And they say, let me know if it's true, because I haven't. I feel like a lot of black women say, like, I am treated at such a higher standard.
Yeah.
Than when I've dated black men. And that they're like, I'm not going back.
Mm-hmm.
She picked the right white man.
Black men are at the lowest when it comes to power structure because they're systematically oppressed and racially targeted. So then when we look at white men, for example, they are at the top of the food chain and they're comfortable in their position in society. So when they're next to a strong black woman, they don't feel the need to humble her or make her feel, like small or break her down because they're already comfortable in their position in society. So then when they get next to a strong black woman, they feel like that's their equal, like an alpha being with an alpha.
So let me get this straight. Black women can get with white men because they treat them better, but black men can't get with white women because they feel like they treat them better? Make that make sense.
Former CIA official warns deadly strike coming to America's power grid. Can you keep your family safe when the lights go out?
Yo today of a young biracial woman. Her mother is white, her father is black. And she went on about a 5-minute rant about how black men and white women fetishize each other. And when I say fetishize each other, shouldn't be together, that if they do, they stand a chance of having children that will not fit in either the black society or the white society, that the children will have to suffer from racism and within the family, and that they will have a parent who doesn't understand what they're dealing with because they don't fit in either, especially as far as their white parent or their white mother won't be able to empathize with them. And they'll have to deal with microaggressions and racism from their own parent. And she went on to conclude that black men and white women should not be together as far as pairings or interracial pairings, because they'll have kids who will suffer. My comment to that question was as follows. If this is true, and this is all about the children, why not address white men and black women who pair off and have children? Why is that not considered fetishization? Of course, we all know that white men have had access to black women since this country's inception. We also know that in recent times, black women have given birth to 1.5 million more children than black men have sired. And the fathers of those children are predominantly white men, second Hispanic men, and then of course other. So if the question arises as to who is making biracial children who will suffer, then the biggest culprit in that is white men and black women. They've done it longer and they're doing it more often than they do it now. And there have never been any real inhibitors placed upon white men from exercising their sexual options with any woman in the United States, but specifically black women. So, as I posted that, of course I got a comment, and the comment came from a black man, assumingly a black man, and his response was something to the effect of, this is her lived experience, and that's not the question that's before us, and basically, how dare you challenge her on this. But what I think people don't realize is that there's a big picture to this. The coupling of black men and white women. Well, let me first say this. White supremacy racism was built upon the oppression of white women.
I paid off $495,000 in debt within 18 months using what I now call my success path. And I turned this system into a book that anyone can get immediately by clicking the link below. It's free, and you can have it completely read in less than 1 day. If you want it, it's yours. By the way, my name is Jeff Lerner, and I used to make between $20,000 and $40,000 a year as a jazz musician before I hit rock bottom.
Y'all let me know. Is this black women hating on black men?
I genuinely want to know why black men make dating
all of the struggle love with the black men because they say like white men treat us better, they propose to us faster, all these good things, right? But in my case, I say the grass is not always greener on the other side because I went through struggle love with black men. I'm like pro black love where I said I would never talk to a white man, right? But then after all my other situations, I was like, dang, like let me try a white man. Like I guess I'll get out of my comfort zone. So once I started talking to a white man, it was actually going good. And I was like, oh wow, he's actually super nice. He's giving me compliments all the time. He's saying that he likes my hair. He's saying that I dress better than the white girls. He's giving me like, you know, presents and he's taking me out, whatever. So I'm thinking like, oh, this is 10 times better than my past relationships already. And next thing I know, 3 months go by and he is acting like a totally different person. He starts lying, manipulating, like doing everything wrong pretty much. And then he starts saying like low-key racist things, how he doesn't want me to do red braids because it's like too ghetto, how black women need to stop doing like sew-ins and just wear their natural hair because he likes it more. And then he said that he's been to Africa more times than me, so he automatically knows more about slavery and black history than me, an actual black person. So once he started saying all that, I was like, oh hell no.
As a woman who dates outside of her race and who is currently dating a white man, I get asked a lot of the time whenever I'm talking about my dating life and how I'm getting treated. Some people will be like, is this a pasta lobster situation? And I'm like, yes, I'm dating a white man. And they'll be like, oh, this is my chance, like, signed to date a white man to get a certain treatment. And I'm like, this course about the pasta and lobster situation or dating a white man is getting a little outrageous. Some of you guys are starting to sound like the black men who will explain away why it is that they want to date white women. And I want y'all to pause, take a step back, and be like, that's not the answer because we are not doing that. You should date men because you're attracted to them and you like them as an individual, not because they are a white man.
I just feel like being with a black man, we have to go through so many loopholes to get into a relationship.
Sis, who hurt you? We don't care. Like, if you want to go date other races, I swear we don't care. That's y'all that get mad when black dudes date other races. Y'all be getting mad. Don't bash black men because you chose bad.
In recent times, many of us have felt being disregarded by the states for far too long. However, they have just introduced...
Don't bash black men because you chose bad.
But how come when a black woman says she wants to date outside her race, or when a black woman marries a white man or Asian or Hispanic, whatever, black women don't get that pass, right? We're looked at as like a sellout. Why she dating this white man? Why she with this Asian guy? Why she couldn't get a black brother? We get so much backlash, so much ridicule.
I, head of the Black Man Council, am willing to give up this sister to any other race that wants her. Because I swear we don't care.
But as a black man, especially if they're of a certain status or level, or they make a certain amount of money, and they have, you know, a white wife or Asian or Hispanic or some sort of mixed race as their wife, companion, mother of their children, it's like they get a pass.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Hey. Baby, you dating a white girl?
I'm dating a girl who is white, if that's what you mean.
Okay. I don't get it, but that's crazy. Only thing crazy is you being in here.
Damn! We tried it with y'all. Y'all don't want us. And then as soon as we go to the people that do want us, it's a problem. You wanna know why our black men be choosing these white bitches? See, black women, we don't let men be men. We try to force what we believe he should be on him. Then we, when he wanna be his own motherfucking man. We place restrictions on our love, our sex, our truck, just everything that we are to him, we got restrictions on.
The man who taught me what love looked like, he just got married not so long ago. The reason why we didn't work out is because he was broke. He worshipped the ground I walked on.
What?
And he taught me patience. And he really taught me how to damn near love me.
What?
Taught me how to cook.
What?
He was chasing the dream of being a musician. He wanted to be a singer in a boy group. I supported that everything. But I'm like, he had 2 kids. And I'm just like, you do need to support yourself. Like, you need to make some type of money. I was like, drive a Pizza Hut at night. I don't care. Just
So is
make
he
some
still trying to chase this musician dream?
He just found the woman for him.
It didn't work out financially wise. Everything else, if he had the money, would it have worked out?
Yes,
Okay.
it would have. And if I would have met him today, it would work out.
What's the difference?
The difference is I was broke too at the time. I feel like out
don't want a man in my house, and we both like it don't make my vagina wet. You feel me? Like that don't turn me on.
So now, since you're good for yourself, financially, you're saying now it would have worked. So you're saying you wouldn't mind supporting him.
Now I could appreciate the love that he brings, but I still don't want him to be broke.
Then we quick to tell, don't get you a white bitch then. And then you go get him a white bitch.
Black men, yay or nay? Yeah.
Ultra yay.
They say black men and white girls go together like this.
Peanut butter and jelly.
So this white bitch, she let that man be him. She see the potential in him, but instead of trying to force him to change, she the catalyst to that change. You notice every time a man go get him a white bitch, he act right. He ain't fucking with no black bitches no more.
You see more like black men with white women. Like a lot of successful black men go for white women. They go lighter.
But the question is like, why do you think that is? Like,
white women, they cater like better. Like they're more submissive than black women. Black women, they talk back. That's one thing. Like black women, we talk back. We talk back. Like we don't listen. We're not as submissive as a white woman. Like
there's a stigma of black women being like more masculine than other groups of women, not physically, but obviously
where they wear the pants. They feel like they wear the pants.
Because y'all got that combative.
But that
nature,
also comes into how we're raised.
A guy that made it and came out the hood, he not trying to argue with or having shorty be combative with him all the time. Like maybe you want somebody submissive, somebody more friendly, feminine, fit.
See, a lot of times when men get some money, black men to be exact, they want a woman that's going to be submissive, that's going to actually do what they say, and a woman that's going to just be there to support every decision they make. Asian women, white women are very subtle, very submissive, very easy to deal with. They haven't came up the way black women have came up. And a lot of times when you're dealing with black women, you're going to deal with some kickback. They not just going to do whatever the fuck you say just because you making the bread and butter. When a man get power and when he feels like he's on top of his game, he's on top of the world, and he got some money, you can't tell him nothing. White woman might deal with that type of shit because she just happy to have a black man.
The government is inflating away your retirement savings. Here's how to stop them. If you're over
with that type of shit because she just happy to have a black man.
Oh my God!
I hear this excuse a lot that black men tear down black women, right? Mm-hmm. What have you heard them say? Like, I want to know. What have they said specifically?
Black women are aggressive. They don't cater to their men. They're argumentative. Bullheaded. They don't have no hair. They that's crazy.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah, I never heard that. Like bullheaded, angry. Yeah, they be they're not submissive. Yes, they're argumentative.
Don't be nice to him all the time. Always have an attitude, and then be nice every once in a while. Make sure that he is continuously chasing you. Don't chase him. Don't always be available to him for sex. Don't cook, don't clean for him. Make him realize that you're the prize. Men love mean women, period. Don't be his piece.
If a black woman curse you out, you Aggie, but a Spanish girl or some other, spicy Latina, like, bro, it's the same thing.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
So a lot of black guys
I need peace at all times.
Most black women are combative and argumentative. Not to say all, but a lot of us are. And it comes with that independent spirit that Destiny Child told y'all to have right before Beyonce went off to got married. I come to find that most men don't want to deal with the headache of telling women that that's what it is because of the combativeness and arguments that comes with saying this.
What is it with, it sounds like I'm hating on black girls, I'm actually not. Even though I'll come back to it, I used to have such a stigma against black girls because they used to bully me. Moving on, I'll come back to it, Why do black girls want every type of guy to want to be only with black girls? So exactly what you just said. Yeah. If there's a white guy, especially if he's good looking, if there's a good looking white girl fucking with a black girl, it's ratings galore. It's ratings galore, fam. If a black guy is dating a white girl, black girls are vexed. Black guys aren't vexed. Black girls are furious. Dealing our women, seeing our men, all this stuff.
When I tell you I prefer not to date any black men that have been predominantly with white women, I mean that shit with my chest. I mean that coming from having a black dad and having a white mama.
You like white girls?
Who, me? I like all human women. I like a white woman too. I like good white, but I like a real American white. I don't like no black white. Listen to Gucci Man and shit and update on the latest Jordans and all that bullshit. Get the fuck away from me. I like a regular European Caucasian Harvard white type. See, that's why we always argue, because you don't listen to no damn body.
Arguing over your bullshit too. Don't even trip.
Hello? Dear Coon, on behalf of Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade and the International Movement for the Independence and Protection protection of African people, you have hereby been excommunicated from the African race, and we have rebirthed you into the European power structure. Goodbye.
I want a block on my motherfucking phone tomorrow, Yvette.
All right, Jody, damn.
God, hey.
So I recently had a black man, say to me that he thought it was beautiful, he thought it was hilarious, he thought it was brilliant, and that the only thing keeping him from shooting his shot is that black women are not his preference. Now, I believe that in his heart of hearts, he believed that that was a compliment. But in fact, it was the exact opposite.
I really don't see that. When we go out, we don't ever go with the initial layer and start saying, yo, we're going to date this specific woman because she's not black or because we feel like she's not loud or she acts a different kind of way than black women. I have not seen majority of guys do that at all. What race would you not date?
Right now, I feel like black people fucking.
We get more love everywhere else than from our own people. I can't even date a black girl out
With my nails, my hair, my feet, I need some red bottoms. I want some
white girls just for the vibe, Spanish, Arabian. I date every woman, and they all just want to have fun and just enjoy our company.
Black woman, yo, can you pay my bills? Can you pay my car note?
Yo, we shouldn't come at each other
like we getting over on each other. We should be working together to get over on everybody else.
But to have your male counterpart, the only one outside of other black women who knows what it's like to try to navigate this world and this society with this skin, use this skin against you, that is so very hurtful.
One of my close friends, he's dating a white girl now. And now I was like, why are you dating a white girl? And he told everyone. He said, because the black girls keep rejecting me. He said exactly what he says. It's just the truth.
Is he spending money?
Thank you. See, that's the problem. That's not a problem.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Because if he's not spending money, of course the corny guys will be rejected.
Wonder why he dated a white girl over a black woman? They probably had similar interests. He probably complimented her differences just like she probably complimented his differences. You know, the reasons why you fucking date people. And the fact that black women feel the need to interrogate, yes, I said interrogate black men for dating outside their race is fucking crazy to me. There's no underlying issue as to why he would date outside of his fucking race. He just connected with her, and she just so happened to be white. That's not putting black women down, especially if there was no black woman checking for him in the first place.
Your friend talking about he dating a white girl because the black girls rejected him. He does not need to be with that white girl because that white girl deserves better. Because he truly loves that white girl, that's why he's with her. Not because these black I don't respect men like that. I love interracial love, I love all that, but the audacity to say that you're with this woman because your own race of women aren't for you. There are billions of beautiful black women in this world. So he done dated 6 and he done pushed up with these random hood rats in the strip club. He pushed up on these random hood rats in the strip club. Now he done with his own people.
Why did no one tell American drivers about this new rule?
If you are currently insured, drive less.
Club. He pushed up on these random hood rats in the strip club. Now he done with his own people.
For one, a black woman don't submit enough for a man to want to live like that. Fool. The black man don't have enough access to his black children from black women. If they want the protection, look at your home girl, your sister, and say, listen, y'all, we got to lighten up on these. Girl, just go take the kids over there. Stop take the barriers away from them and watch what these black boys do for you. Watch what these black men do for your sisters.
Doesn't matter what your job title is or how much money you make. What matters is you lead with your feminine attributes. I want you to imagine you dating a man who runs $1 million business and he's been gone at work the whole day. He's stressed, he has to deal with team members, he has to put out fires, and then he comes home to you. In that moment, what kind of woman do you think he wants to be with? A woman who's a boss babe, talking about work, going to him about her business problems, and she's stressed as well, or a woman who brings the softer energy, helping him switch off from work and helping him relax. I'm not saying to give up your career or to lower yourself for a man. What I am saying is to be aware of what energy you lead with when you're dating.
A woman's value lies in the intangible things, where a man's value lies in the tangible things. Men are providers, protectors, and professors, meaning everything that they do is more physical. The money,
the protecting, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of that stuff. Whereas women are the nurturers. So where a woman's value lies is, how does she make her man feel? Does she uplift him with his words? Can he trust her? Is she loyal? Does she support his dreams? Does she take care of his legacy? Meaning, if he gives her a home, how does she nourish it and steward it? Women are the warmth to a man's life. So if you are a woman who is solid, who is respectful, she knows how to talk to her man, she can uplift her man with her words, she can support his dreams, she does not tear him down, she creates a safe space where he can be vulnerable and lay his armor at the door. If she's not going to use his weaknesses against him, if she's going to steward what he gives her well, then you are rare and you are a valuable woman.
I think that if you find yourself in a situation where you have someone that loves you and you love them, they're treating you the way that you would like to be treated, vice versa. It doesn't really even matter at this point what anybody else thinks. You have one life and you have to live it for you. As I say on this channel all the time, live your best life. And part of that means that you're going to have to go through this journey of dealing with people, dealing with the relationships that you have. But to denigrate a group for what they feel and what they believe, all this haterade, who is that actually serving? It seems to me that the people that are doing the most hating are the ones who are the most miserable. Let me know in the comments what you thought about today's video. I want to hear from you.
Willing to help. Creating a community to belong.
Today of a young biracial considered property. Yes, they are the primary beneficiary of white supremacy racism as it is today, but that still doesn't negate the origins of this system. And so keeping the white woman's sexuality in place, keeping her in line, has always been one of the preeminent goals of white supremacy. Now, coupled with that, consider that keeping the black man and keeping tabs on what he's doing with his reproductive organs has always been up there. Matter of fact, if you look at the work of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, she will tell you that white supremacy racism is more on the lines of a white survivalist sort of system, meaning that it's designed to protect white people from being genetically removed from this world. Specifically, if black people and white people and whomever else interbreed, then the children are a product of that relationship, that love relationship, are not typically considered white. They may be fair-skinned, they may be light, they may be mulatto, and some other variation of that, but they're not white. And so in loving and relationships and in interbreeding, it is not in the best interest of white people in general to intermix with others, because it annihilates their race. It annihilates we're all part of the human race, but for the purposes of placing ourselves in the minds of those white supremacists, it annihilates their race. So when we understand the objective of those white people who consider themselves white supremacists, and I'm not saying all white people are white supremacists, nor am I saying all white people are racist, nor I'm not making that sort of generalization. I'm talking about those individuals who consider themselves white supremacists and who operate by that doctrine, recognize that interracial relationships between white people and anyone else especially is going to lead to progeny that are not white. So that's what you also have to understand. Now consider also, here in the United States, or across the world, the difference between a black woman and a black man is that a black man, being a man, can impose sex. He can impose sex on women of his own ethnicity, his own race, and women of other ethnicities. So in other words, he is the aggressor. He is the person that will be the active participant or active mover as to getting something done. So of course he has to be eyeballed, he has to be watched, he has to be monitored. And And so coupled with the fact that now you have black men and white women pairing off, you have a person who can impose sex and the white woman who traditionally is the only woman that can give birth to a white child. And now what? Now you have those who have that white supremacist mindset in an uproar. And so it is important for those goals that, number one, they keep the white woman in check, and keep her sexual reproductive choices in check. And also we keep the black man in check. That is a goal of white supremacy racism. I say all that to say because in this young woman's video, there was no mention of black women and white men.
So if you're looking for an investment option with a high potential upside and maybe one that's pandemic proven,
White men. Because at the end of the day, this is about control. You have to pathologize interactions between black men and white women, because that is one of the goals of white supremacy racism. A white male dominated event, occurrence, and in doing so you ensure the survival of the white race. This has never been about biracial children. It's about domination and control, whether it be domination and control of white women, domination and control of black men and what we do. And that's why that's why when you have someone who is pushing this issue, who is saying, oh yeah, black men and white women need to be separated, it's fetishization. That's a shaming tactic. See, now that it's legal, it's perfectly lawful for a black man and a white woman to interact and get married. Since Loving versus Virginia, they have to use some other tactic, and that tactic, of course, is social shaming by constantly suggesting that there's something pathologically wrong or inherently wrong with a black man and a white woman coupling. Yep. You, first of all, you put that barrier out there, and then of course society reads into that, and then when you see black men and white women together, society will respond, and it makes it very difficult for that particular pairing to stay together because they are subject to an inordinate amount of shaming, an inordinate amount of scrutiny, and it puts a lot of pressure on any relationship in any union. And there's no wonder why the pairings or the marriages between black men and white women have the highest separation and divorce rate, because they suffer from a disproportionate amount of pressure associated with it. But again, this has nothing to do with the offspring that's reproduced, because a biracial child who is a product of a white man and a black woman will have the same issues that a child who is the coupling of a white woman and a black man.
Exactly.
It makes no sense to say otherwise.
Exactly.
So we have to look deeper into that, and when we do, we recognize it's about control.
Exactly.
It's about controlling the white man. It's about controlling the black man, and that's why I always point back to the so-called modern-day pro-blacks who have the same agenda and itinerary as the white supremacists. They want to control black men. They do not want you to have your own freedom. They want you to be utilities to serve them.
Exactly.
They want you to do their bidding.
Exactly.
If it be lay your life down under the cause of black liberation, whatever that means. They will use cockamamie factoids like too much intermixing is going to destroy the black race, when in reality there are 2 billion Africans throughout the world, and black Americans represent approximately 40 million, which is, I believe, less than 2% of the global African population. And of that grouping, within that black American group, there's only a small percentage of black men who date and marry out. But these black these black supremacists, these so-called pro-blacks, will use any reason to try to shame you and try to pathologize a black man's sexual choices, especially when it has to do with him dating a white woman, which lets you know they have the same mind as their greatest teacher, the white supremacists. So I watch these modern day pro-blacks and these white supremacists in the same group.
Exactly.
And when I see a mulatto person or biracial person inheriting that mentality, it gives me great pause, because the same thing that you say you're fighting, you're blind to the fact that you're doing its bidding. The truth is, nature is always going to win. The truth is, there was no genotype with white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes before 6,000 years ago, which means that after Africans migrated out of Africa and interbred with the Neanderthal and the Denisovians, and through genetic mutation and time and environment and diet, they mutated into what we call Northern Europeans. Because they were isolated, because of the cold weather, because of the adaptations. That is a subset of what is basically the sub-Saharan African, just like the rest of us. And so at some point, through intermixing, that group is going to be genetically annihilated, just because they are the smallest grouping of people on the planet. Of course, I think everybody deserves and has a right to be on this planet. Everybody's culture is valuable, their language is valuable, what they bring to the human family is valuable. But the coupling of white people and anybody else is going to cause the elimination of that, what we call Northern European genetic makeup. And so again, nature always wins, so eventually it will happen. It may take 10,000 years, but it eventually will happen. So the question that I ask, if you are truly for black people and you want to see unity, and you recognize that there are those in white society who are white supremacists and racists, then of course, why not? Wouldn't you want to interbreed with them so that the problem is eliminated naturally?
First off, if you haven't made money with AI yet, don't.
Let me stop right here. And Dennis is absolutely right. I mean, it's an individual choice. And I don't know whether the black people got this problem, white people got this problem, other people got this problem. Just because a certain percentage of people who find someone attractive of a different culture, it doesn't mean that everybody is going to leave the culture and date and marry. Not all white men or all white women, all black men, all black women are going to leave the culture. It's still going to be majority where you go. If I go someplace like Idaho or somewhere, it's still going to be majority white. If I go to some part of an area of the South where it's mostly black, it's going to still be majority black. What is the problem? My thing is, why does it bother you so much? And I don't understand that. As every individual choose. It's like, for example, I think the two people, like other races of people, you have a high of LGBTQ people. So that's been going on. So what about that? I mean, does it matter that the same race people be LGBTQ opposed to white? It doesn't. They belong to they attract the same sex. So what's the difference? And that's just a certain percentage of people. And it's just to me, it's a certain expensive. It's the same way with the interracial couple. And not everybody gonna do it. And if any black or white person think that, oh my God, the world's coming to all this interracial interbreeding, and people got psychologically, they don't say it, but they project it out to their children, and they really don't. Either way, we might be heading back into the human family, what started as the the color of the ground, which is brown, which is dirt. So what difference does it make? I mean, when you think about it, again, not everybody's going to agree. You see a few interracial couples, oh my goodness, people just lose their freaking mind. Not every black woman is going, and when you get with somebody, whether you're a black woman or a black man, you better pick the character of the person, because if you don't, if you on this fantasy that no, it's something deeper to the person than just their skin color or their culture. It's their personality and what kind of background you got. Once you, it's more to the person, and until we get by that understanding, it's going to be the same thing. But let me show you a story, because I listen to this guy's channel, and this can happen. This can happen to black men as well, but this happened to this black woman. Watch this.
Divesting gone up in flames. Arlene Lee leveled up in smoke. The daughter of the man police hold responsible for multiple deletions in a Montana log cabin said her father had long been in denial about having mental health problems, which ultimately became dangerous. People tried to tell him he needed to get help, 35-year-old Starla Shannon said. He said he'd rather go to a vet than a doctor. Police say Augustine Mike Bournes shot his wife and their 3 young children in the head before setting fire to their rural home and shooting himself Sunday. Interviews with Shannon, Bournes' ex-wife of 33 years, Darla Shupin, and acquaintances and authorities in southwestern Montana tell the story of a man with anti-government views who deleted his family and himself after calling someone he knew to say that his wife, Arlene Lee, had been mocking and writing him all day. Bournes lay down next to his children's bodies, which he had lined up together on a bed, before deleting himself, Anaconda Deer Lodge police say. His daughter said he had realized a dream by building a log cabin and moving to Montana with Lee and their children. Lee the divester, who took her mother's maiden name after her mother and stepfather divorced, moved to Western Washington and married Dwayne House, a white man who was in the Air Force in 2000, Byerly said. Lee worked as a probation officer and was happy with House for years, Byerly said. They moved to Arizona in 2006 and Lee was accepted to Arizona State University's law school. But they drifted apart and later divorced when Lee wanted children and Haas didn't. The white man did not want mixed-race children. Mike Bournes, who was originally from Taos, New Mexico, was a handyman who had constitutionalist and anti-government literature in his pickup truck. The police chief described him as someone who didn't want anything to do with government. Interviews with his ex-wife and acquaintances in town supported that view. His wife of 33 years, Darla Shupin, said he began to change after he was charged in New Mexico 1995 with false imprisonment and aggravated assault. A jury acquitted Bournes in 1997, but it stuck with him. The incident on the mountain really turned him sour against the government, she said. He felt like things were unfair. After that, they moved to a more remote area of New Mexico with no electricity. Bournes became more and more controlling over the years, and she said he forced her to end contact with her family during the last 8 years of their marriage. Everything was wrong with everybody else, she said. He would never admit anything was wrong with him. Shupin said she left him in 2007 when he punched her in the face in front of her grandson. Lee, the black woman, moved to New Mexico and opened a donut shop called Baker's Dozen because she couldn't afford law school, her brother said. She worked 10-hour days 6 days a week, attending a Catholic church in the area, Byerly said. She was still recovering from her divorce when Bournes, who was 22 years older than Lee, walked into the donut shop, saw a picture of Lee on the wall, and asked to meet her, Byerly said. He was a ranch hand and charming to Ari, Byerly said. She told me he used to be a successful builder and was going to go back to that. Bournes, who never married Lee, convinced Lee to sell her business, Byerly said. Byerly feels he met her at a vulnerable time. She was concerned about Lee selling the business, as well as the age difference between the two. Bad signs, Lee sold the donut shop in 2008 and used her money to buy a semi-truck so she and Borns could make deliveries around the country under the name Ladybug Trucking, Byerly said. Lee did the business operations as they drove across the country, never staying in one place very long. She turned herself inside out to do stuff for him, and he just kept getting more and more weird, she said. They stayed on the road after their first son, Augustine, known as Gus, was born, but Lee eventually wanted to settle down with the kids. Byerly said that, in one of the few times Borns listened to her, he agreed to build the cabin in the Montana wilderness. Ari was happy for a while, and the kids were so sweet and loved their mom and dad, Byerly said. But on the visits they had with the family, Byerly did not like the way Borns controlled Lee. A couple of incidents she heard about stand out. Borns tipped Lee out of their truck on the side of the freeway while she was 8 months pregnant, leaving her to walk to a payphone to call Flieger and ask for help. Flieger was going to buy her a plane ticket, but Lee changed her mind after talking to Borns. Borns refused to take Lee to the hospital when she was giving birth to young Ari. Byerly said he wouldn't remove the snow from their driveway even though he owned a plow, leaving Lee to have the baby in the bathtub. Lee did not see a doctor for at least 2 weeks after giving birth, Flieger said. Borns was emotionally abusive to Lee, Byerly said. I do believe that Ari was going to leave him, she said. Borns held anti-government views, but Byerly said he wasn't off the deep end about it. The friend called 911 and told officers that Borns said his wife had been mocking and writing him all day, according to Anaconda Deer Lodge Police Chief Tim Barkle. Police believe Borns first shut his wife in the kitchen and his young daughter in her crib before he walked outside and shut the 2 other children about 20 feet from the cabin. Borns carried his sons inside and laid them on a bed, then placed his young daughter's body in between the brothers as their mother lay deleted next to the kitchen table. He set fire to a chair or sofa, then laid down next to the children's bodies and shot himself in the head with a .45. All 5 unalived of single June shot wounds to the head. The divester pretty much ignored every red flag. The old age, the terrible background, the fact he wasn't able to hold a job and followed him all the way to the middle of nowhere to raise her mixed race family. I think she ignored all of it because she was happy she got mixed race children. What's with divestors and old white men? How is an unemployed old white man a viable option to raise a family? The divester was that desperate although she was living in a really white state. While all of this was happening, she kept letting the crusty old man take her to Pound Town every chance he got. It makes me think that the divester was always waiting for a white man to approach her, and she took the first one she could get because the chances of it happening again were slim. To be honest with you, I believe white men operate in the grand scheme of things. Notice how they keep erasing the divester's existence. During slavery and Jim Crow, white men never claimed black women's mixed-race children because they didn't want to muddy the bloodline. Ask Eartha Kitt. Put it this way, we know everyone watches Corn, but when you point it out to them, they become ashamed. I believe that's how most white men view black women. The black woman in this story was just a pawn who learned the hard way. Divesting gone up in flames.
So, what did we learn today, ladies and gentlemen? You always pick somebody based on their character.
Then y'all need to pay attention. This is for every American.
You never pick on someone based on their color. And if you're a black woman, you decided, you better make sure, just like you date your own men, you better make sure he sound right up here. And because just there's constantly cases like that. Like that one Seattle player that was a player for Seattle. He had a black girlfriend, and he literally almost ended her life. And she couldn't understand why. Why did he do that? He literally, then after he beat the crap out of her, beat the living mess out of her, he wondered why she wasn't gone. But why some of you think that we're some of us the most horrible men? You better think about it. And like when you go with any other men of any outside your race, and it would probably be the same way it was us. You better get to know the person's character. Don't be so fascinated because of and have this fantasy. It's the reality. Because after all the fantasy's over, you gotta deal with that person. You gotta live with that person and share space with that person. Or you gonna get used to their habits and your habits, you know. But that's what some people should learn. From no matter who you marry, who you date, make sure they have a sound mind and check their family background. That's the important part. And again, that's what you gotta look forward to. And this can happen to a black man and a white, because there's some white women and some black, it can happen. But it seems like lately, it seems like white women, as y'all saying about white, but it's been a lot of white men checking their black girlfriends and wives out of the picture, deleting them. No joke. I don't know what it is, man. I've seen 2 or 3 cases. He divested a lot. Logic showed all this. That if you pick the man, you don't pick the right man, but it's something psychologically, like you look past the signs, and just like if you would look down at your own men that didn't have a job, ain't something they checked it up right. You've seen some of these women seem to look past when it comes to the white men and other men, but just something when you put your own black men in the same category at a different spot. So that's one of the reasons why some black men go to other women, because when they come across the same women that think that the grass is greener on the other side, and then put these talking down points like what some of you women did in the video. When black men hear that, it's like, well, okay, the ones who have a sound mind, the black men who have a sound mind, who don't have the ones that got their scruples wrapped up tight, you pushing them away. And then it comes down to personality, because sometimes some of them would they have one experience wrong with the black man, and thinking that when they jump over, and you might meet somebody who's white, they might hear to sympathize your story, but they don't tell you about the whole story, about who they are, until you get to know what's deeper in them, what's deeper in their spirit, and what their background is. And if they come from a family that wrote and have a lot of racial epithets, that's one of the things. It's a clear sign, especially when you're black man, black woman, and it's black men probably encounter the same thing too. So that's why I said that's something you have to realistically think of. That's why I said it's all about what's up here and what's in their mind as well as what's in their heart. But the heart comes first, and see what their view of life is and how they handle everyday the challenges. Whether you're a same race couple or interracial couple. Hell, it could be the same applied to the LGBTQ couples. But I'm using this as an example. But either way, you think people are gonna give a crap either way. So why does it bother you so much? In fact, I bet it's starting to be a rise of that. More so, same race couple or an interracial couple or same heterosexual couple. Did you know that? But no one seemed to want to address that idea. Oh yeah, people are going. They take. And the Bible said they going after strange flesh, so they go after someone that look like of the same sex, and it's both men and women doing that. So I think that's why. So why are they so concerned with the interracial couple thing when this vast majority is rising? But overall, no matter who is going to happen either way. In the world, some people in the world got tough skin. They don't care what you think. They don't care what you say. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and that's their life. That's their choice. But when you pick someone other, we're gonna come back to the interracial couple. You make sure you just like you do with the same race couples. You gotta make sure where they head at, where they mind at. Are you willing to go, or do they come from that? Are you strong enough? In fact, I think when you're an interracial couple, you really gotta be strong in America. The counter some of the things, the looks, the stares, and with some people, the phoniness, the fakeness, like they're really happy for you, but they really kind of put on a smirk and smile. And you'll see in time comes along. And it can happen on both sides of the tracks. Because some black people don't like it as well as white people. That's true. I don't know. But some of us, a small percentage of us. I think it's a small percentage of black people that don't like it compared to white people. That's my personal opinion. Because black people accept anything. Nobody would care about this stuff. Hey, okay, maybe one awkward person in the family might not like it. But when you go on the other side of the family, oh my goodness. It might be a totally different, and how it may be on the white side, they don't say something, but you can see in the uncomfortable awkwardness and the kind of like, oh my God, I'm used to seeing everything that look like us, but this person's right here. You might encounter that kind of problem. Not with every like Dennis Burley, not every white people are like this. But I'm just saying, this people will say, "Oh, I don't have no problem with it." Till the kids find out when you're not in their presence. So make sure again, and then the kids who don't look at life that way. That don't even affect their life. They're gonna love this person regardless. They had to deal with some ignorant ass person that they grew up with, who they were real cool with, that they were tight. But when you went up and touched the forbidden fruit, which is black people or one of these other people, the real side will come out. And this is what some people have this kind of reaction. So make sure that the person you pick with, that really have a strong character. That's all what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Make sure the spouse you pick, and that they have a sound mind. You make sure if you're a black woman, you decide to pick and you do what you do. You better make sure his mind is right, just like you would persecute your own. Because the grass ain't greener on the other side. And people can put on a face. I know. I've been around people that can put on a face, and they put on the face. But when push comes to shove, the real side of them gonna come out sooner or later. Because people can only put on the face for so long. See, one thing about us, at least with black people, they let you know right up front where they come from. We let you know. Most of us ain't gonna put on no face. we ain't gonna be phony and fake. It is we genuine or we're not. It ain't no with some of us anyway. Trust me. And when you've been around people, different aspects of people in life and your experiences, you'll see what I'm talking about. People can say one thing. Don't let them get up, because either an emotional or liquor or beer gonna bring it out of them, and they be like, "I didn't think I would say something like that. You said something." Yes, yeah. You'd be surprised when you catch somebody on the wrong time, and hopefully don't be one of ignorant friends or one of the relatives that want to make some kind of innuendo jokes about different ethnic group of people. Watch for that too. Make sure that they're good character. That's all what I'm saying. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. Till next time, food for thought. Marry who you want to marry, date who you want to date. But no, don't just see what's on the outside, see what's on the inside. Because that's going to determine your relationship with a person just as the same person of the same race, color, and creed. So remember that message. And shout out to Dennis Berling, shout out to the other people, content creators. Alright then, be blessed. And other than that, keep on loving who you love. Just pick the right person. Make sure you pick the right character. Not about so much the color. Alright then, be blessed. See you on next video.